Hey guys, Clover here. Welcome back to another video. So I was looking at Reddit earlier today, and I saw this post, and I thought I might as well make a video and comment on how the community thinks. At least the underrepresented community, I would say, that is what the community on Reddit is. Not everybody goes on Reddit. I myself, I don't post on Reddit anymore. I do comment on sometimes, but I find myself more often than not disagreeing with what Reddit posts. So might as well comment in and see your guys' reaction on what this guy thinks Raid is all about. Raid is about prioritizing. That's the title of today's post I saw on Reddit. And let's have a look at it. Let's comment ourselves as players. I know that my channel is more about veterans of the game. A big free-to-play community is also part of my my audience, so there'll be some conflicting views and everything. So let's have a read through. I haven't read it. I only went through some of the points, but not in detail, so I'll be reacting to it as you guys are. So this guy says Raid is about prioritizing. This won't apply as much if you are a big spender, but here goes, right? Big spender, when he says that, I'm guessing anything above 10k. I am a big spender if you want to put me in that category, but that's over 4 years. So my account does have lots of champions that other accounts will not have, that are, free to play or low spenders. He's been playing Raid for 3 years now. You have been free to play the whole time. I'm not the best at it, nor I have been particularly fast at completing everything, but I have been consistent in how I made progress. So what have I learned after all this time? This game is a massive time sink, and being efficient with time is more of a priority for me than completing everything every day. I would say that is part correct. So how I see that is, when you say it's a big time sink, I do agree. Doing every single thing that the game has takes about 4 hours every day. And I'm talking 4 hours of being either on your computer or even more if you're on your phone. And some of these things require active participation, such as doing arenas and doing tag team arena. That is active participation within the game. It's not like Clambos where you can just click on the button, auto mode, and then go about your day and do something else. The same thing goes for the Hydra if you have an auto team, or even climbing now the Doom Tower, or the multi battles in the Doom Tower, or let's say farming the campaign or farming the dungeons. There's things that you can do at the same time. So yeah, and I would say if you want to be efficient, you basically go with, I would say doing clan boss is the most efficient thing you can do with your time. If you have 10 minutes and you are a veteran player, do your clan boss runs and everything else is fine. Maybe do your 5 arena fights so you get that free refresh of energy, so you top up a little bit more on your energy max, and then on the weekend when you have more time, you can use up that energy that you've been collecting, and also you'll be getting those clan boss rewards every day. Use RSL Helper and play on both mobile and PC. Leave PC logged in and collect free stuff. Use Hell Hades Artifact Optimizer to equip champions. Use PC for the grind. Use phone to run arena and dailies. Yeah, I would say, honestly, me myself, I don't use my phone anymore. I barely play on my phone, and when it's time for me to be on my phone and I can't be on the PC, let's say I go somewhere on vacation, I honestly don't have the time to play the game. And even when I do, things take a lot more time, and I can't have my phone there for 30 minutes running a clan boss run on the background, because also that takes a lot of battery. And if I'm on vacation, I can't do that because it's going to take away a lot from my battery, and I want that for other stuff like looking at maps and everything. Even when I'm at my home, I don't open up Raid on my phone. I have it on my PC. If I'm working on something on PC, I'll have Raid running with RSL Helper. I can't play the game without RSL Helper. It's so helpful, and it's a requirement almost if you're playing the game and want to be doing what number 1 mentioned. So yeah, I kind of agree with number 2, although I don't play on phone. I know many players out there who just play on phone, which is amazing, honestly. If you think about how the game is a PC game now more than anything. Sell all equipment you do not plan to build out. Either build it or sell it. Do not hoard. Only build equipment during fusions. You will never be able to make all the great pieces level 16. That is 100% correct. You will never be able to make all the pieces to level 16. The reason for this is one piece of gear takes 1 million to 1.5. I'm talking about artifacts to get to 16. You won't ever be able to get those. Even the good ones, you'll have to think twice before getting them to 16, just because of how hard it is to get that gear piece leveled up to max. Especially if you're free to play, silver is one of the most the biggest resources that you need to hoard. And I've made a video, I should be posting really soon, about this, and how silver is such an important resource to manage. Okay, when building equipment, I roll pieces that have potential to 4. If it hits a flat stat, I sell. If not, roll to 8. Flat stat, I sell. Once invested to 12, I may as well keep going to 16. That is, I wouldn't agree with this one. Sometimes at 12 you have to cut your losses, okay, because at 12 your roll might not be as good as you thought, and after a while even those pieces that roll to 12 have to be sold or don't go all the way. It's like when you're playing poker, right? You don't raise and keep on raising it and just say, oh, I might as well just see what the other guy has in terms of cards. Sometimes you gotta fold, you gotta sell the piece, because you'll end up losing way more than you thought by leveling it to 16. Let's say it's an item rolled with 1 on speed, 1 on attack percent, 1 on critical rate. That is a 1-1-1 item, as I call them. Even at level 16, that if it's a legendary item, that can roll a double on, let's say, crit rate. Okay, it can roll a double on crit rate. That is not as good as you might think, and the silver that you're gonna spend potentially can be used on an item that is already rolled double on the crit rate, and on level 16 it can be a triple. So that would be the best alternative for this one. Get to alternate combos as soon as you reasonably can. Yes, this general advice I often see, and it is good. Yes, 100% agree, no question about it. Ultramar combos gives legendary books superior potions, which is insane. You know, those brews, it gives 6-star gear, 6-star legendary gear, it gives you shards, it gives you so many resources for free. Once you build the team, it's all free. All right, get to being able to farm Spider 20 efficiently. Silver is the resource you can never have enough of. Although I agree with this, silver is a resource you can never have enough of. Silver is not required to do most things in the game. Having the gear leveled up is a requirement, and silver is required, but farming specific gear is required more than anything. And having, let's say, a stun set is more useful than having you know, silver saved up. So having your stun set, one stun set ready to go is really much better than you know, just hoarding silver. I wouldn't prioritize silver 20 unless you need something very specific. Usually free-to-play accounts will have more of an issue with more champions being at level 60 with masteries, or even at level 60 even without masteries. That is a big issue on accounts. So Spider 20, you won't be farming it as much as you think, even if you want to be going for silver. So I kind of not agree about this as much as this guy says, because again, he said he's free to play. So I'm looking at it first from a free to play perspective. If you're more of a spender and you'd like to get those energy packs, then yes, silver will be acquired more efficiently through Spider. Work on getting farming times down on dungeons. Time makes fusions much more palatable too. This doesn't matter as much as you think. For fusions, especially if you're a new account, a new free-to-play, doing a run that takes 3 to 4 minutes is not as much of an issue when your time is not as crucial. Let's say you're let's say you have a family, you don't have so much time to spend during the day. Unfortunately, that will be the reason that you're gonna miss out on the fusion. It's not the fact that your teams are slow. I mean, getting a 1 minute run on dragon is not as easy as you might think. A 2 minute run, again, not as easy as you might think. So if you can play, if you have RSL helper, that's more important than getting your dungeon times down. And I wouldn't focus so much on it. I would say point number 5, alternate clan boss, is more important than reducing your times in dungeons. Okay, so I would put this on a higher priority than anything else. I know that this guy doesn't have this as a priority, but it's his list right here. Accept that unless you're a Kraken, winning worthwhile tournaments will be rare and Plat Arena will be unattainable. Correct. Arena not only is time gated, many people either sleep during that time or work during the time that Arena resets. You need to be online and fighting for at least an hour before and close to platinum in order to get into platinum. So yeah, it's unattainable. Winning tournaments has even become crazier now with, you know, the Krakens, the big spenders, having those very, very quick teams, so they can acquire points way quicker than you. Even if you are number one, you can go to number two way, way quicker than you think, because a Kraken will just you know, be booking champions in champion training tournament. They'll be booking champions, which now gives them points, insane amount of points, and they'll be just pushing through and getting that number one spot. So Relentless Gear is actually more difficult now than it was before, but it's not crazy to find yourself in a tournament that can be easily won. It's all about luck. So it's if you are one of those 100 or one of those 200 that are lucky enough to pay attention to your bracket, and you see that there's not much competition, then you can actually get it. But it's more about luck than, you know, accepting your fate. It's you know, more about luck in this one. And yeah, Plat Arena unattainable. I would agree. Except that unless you're a Kraken, this isn't Pokemon Go and you won't have every champion. The challenge is to use your resources wisely and make the best that you're given. I would say this is 100% correct, but it's not about having every champion, because there's no point to have every champion unless it's the Void champions. That's why they make the Voids so unique in their kit compared to the non-Voids. Many non-Void champions have similar kits between them. Some of them might have something that is unique, but the majority of them have similar kits, which one champion can replace another, and they do the same thing. A defense down with an attack down. There's, you know, we have Stagnite and we have Duke the Pierced. They kind of do the same thing. One of them is a little bit better in one thing than the other, but both of them pretty much do the same thing. So if you have that in mind and you look for it for the purpose you're putting a champion into your team. So let's say you're looking for ally protection. There's so many ally protection champions right now. If you're looking for a counterattack though, tough luck. There's only 3 in the game, and I doubt they'll ever introduce another one. And not that it will matter now with more teams than not having a counterattack champion anymore. It's more about those unkillable and block damage teams now. Do the daily quests, do the advanced quests that offer gems and energy. Avoid the quests that consume energy. Getting that Lego book a week early just isn't worth it. No, I would disagree with this. So there is daily quests like the farm, 7 battles and campaign. You have to do this to complete the daily. So you cannot do your dailies to get your 2x XP. You gotta have to do this to get the 2x XP. Same thing with advanced quest. Advanced quest is more about the energy that you get at the end, where you get that 120 guaranteed energy, that refresh, and it goes to your max. You have to see that, what am I getting for what am I consuming? You have to see it like that. I wouldn't go with this. Avoid quests, because usually the quests are not that hard to do. If we have a look at my quest right now, if I close this for a second, if I have a look at my advanced quests, just as an example right now, just to compare what this guy is saying is, I mean, these increased champions level in tavern, that is fine, but the campaign battles, that will be 7 times 8 in terms of energy. That's not a lot of energy for 10 gems. 10 gems is quite a lot. If these add up, especially if you're using your energy that is either stored or the one that is regenerated slowly. The weekly ones are obvious because you get the ancient and you get the XP boost, which these are useful for the free to play. The monthly ones, I mean, you get 100 gems per month guaranteed, and a void. These are only once a month, but are still worth it. And here, what uses up my energy so much? Let's see, win 3 artifacts. So do 3 fights in dungeons. You can do the lowest difficulty for this one if you care about energy so much. And nothing else uses up energy. So I don't get the point that he was making with that one. So I would strongly disagree with what he said on this one. Number 10. Find a clan that cares about doing the minimum to open the CVC rewards, but doesn't care about winning. CVC is a terrible ROI. Use books during CVC. I would agree with this in terms of, I'm in a clan that has to beat, right? I'm in a clan right now that has to pretty much beat the enemies every single time it pops up. It's a very competitive clan. Like, we are competitive even on quests. These quests go away the day that they refresh, and only the really, really bad ones stay in here. So finding a clan that you don't care so much, but that still kills the clan boss that you want to be doing. So if your highest team could beat hard, you should be in a team that kills hard every day, regardless of how rough they go in CVC. And in terms of hard difficulty or brutal difficulty, they 100% of the time will not care so much about CVC and will not have any enforcement of CVC minimums. All right, there's many clans out there that take it really relaxed with CVC. You'll see yourself winning once every 3 CVCs or 4 in those kind of clans. So it's fine if you don't care so much about the accessories. I don't know about that one. And those accessories are more about the reaction which you use for arena, which again, as a free-to-play, it won't play so much role. So I kind of agree with this point, but it's more important, I would say, to use CVC as an excuse to get, you know, extra rewards and doing some things like booking up your champions during that time. But again, now with the champion training tournaments giving you points for booking up champions, you have to see it, okay, can I potentially win a tournament for booking up my champions during the tournament? Or can I get something extra from the CVC when I book my champions during that time? You have to weigh it out and see it for yourself if you want to gamble on a champion training tournament and think, okay, that's going to give me the edge compared to the other guy who will just be doing, you know, champion training because he's a big whale. All right, have to see it like that. Collect the daily pack every day and save the energy for fusions. Yeah, between the daily energy and these packs, daily login rewards and the random clan check-in, and so you can accumulate nearly all the energy you need. I agree with this. As you can see from my account right here, I totally agree with this. I have all this energy. This is from clan store, clan quests. Did this right here, got 1,000 energy. That's there in my total. I got about 2,000 energy, I think, from the CVC that we won, and then some other energies from the daily quest that you get here, the advanced quest that you get here. I don't use up my energy a lot. I save this for future tournaments. If I wanted to be 100% efficient, I could have been using up all my energy, so I let the energy refresh and always be under the maximum. But that's not really what I'm doing, you know, most of the time, especially on my main account. On free-to-play, it really depends. But preparing for fusions this way is a good way to have, you know, one step forward instead of being on an equal grounds when you're going into a fusion or a fragment collection. Be greedy. Save your champions you get from Doom Tower and the previous fusion event for the next fusion get champions events. Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. You can do that, but unfortunately, Raid has shown us, at least in the last few fusions, that they are greedier themselves. And these champions, no matter how many you save, you gotta save a lot of them to actually summon them during a champion chase tournament to get enough points to get, you know, the next fusion. So I would say be more selective on your fusions that you want to get and when you pop up your shards than when you do your when you click on the summon button right here. I mean, if some of these champions are not going to be game changing, yeah, do not summon them. That is 100% not the efficient thing to do. Let's say for me, the majority of these champions wouldn't have played a role if I kept them unsummoned, like the fragments that I collected. It wouldn't play much of a role. But other times you don't have the choice. Like on this fusion that we're going to have next week, you have no choice. You have to summon before the time goes out because you'll lose out on the champion. 14, save shards for fusion summon events. Avoid temptation. Yeah, guaranteed champs 2x and 10x are expensive, and unless you are sure the guaranteed champion helps you complete content that turns into a positive return on investment, be patient. You don't need it. Take note that legendary books are being gated behind Summon Rush and champion collecting. Use your shards to get these books. You have more than you need for the fusion. If you have more than you need for the fusion, do not use those extra things to get just books. you will eventually get books from Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare Clown Boss. It's gonna be slow, but you will eventually get them. It's more important to be cautious on when you're booking your champions than just booking anything that looks shiny or new, okay? Be more prudent when using your, I think that's the word, when using your books than anything else. Guaranteed champions, although I see the argument of being, you know, guaranteed good as a fusion, you see how random they can be. Now we have 110 guaranteed void. It's not worth it. All right, it's not really worth it, and no free to play can collect 110 voids. 110 ancients I can see, you know, 10 15 sacreds I still can see it over 110 voids for a free to play. 2x and 10x are expensive. Honestly, you should only be summoning during 2x as a free to play and when the fusion is on, or a fragment collection. Okay, only during this time, only when there's a champion chase tournament or a champion chase event, summoning event, whatever they're called. Collect gems in tournaments if they are low investment. Avoid tournaments that are standalone, they cost more than you get back and are designed to soak resources. Yes, 100%. This one I 100% agree. The tournaments right here, they are here not for you, not for the free to play. These are here for the big spenders to collect free stuff, and a big like carrot on a stick for players out there, where these anniversary points, these are such a big misleading factor for many players out there to go for those each anniversary point that they can get, so that they can get this milestone 5, 1 sacred shard after 77.5 thousand points. That is insane. That is a lot of work, and I'll be missing that with really high chance that I'll be missing out. I won't be summoning during this weekend. I don't care so much about the points anymore. I do not care about missing this one or the avatar. They've shown that it's not a good value, even though the immortal souls are nice, even though, you know, the legendary chaos ore would be nice, the immortal soulstone would be nice. All that energy I would be pretty much wasting just for that one sacred. I could instead use my stuff for something else, right? And looking at the final point, so try to not make this video too long. Work on goals, make investment decisions based on those goals. Understand that opening shards is rarely the solution for a goal. They're a resource to get fusions and books if they happen to summon something very good, but don't open them in the hopes that is happening. Farming quality gear is better investment 99% of the time. 100% correct. Gear is the name of this game, not the champions. The champions are there to be shiny and easy. People prefer easy than hard, and that goes for everything in life. I'm not being like, they prefer to just click a button and get something that's really good than, okay, I'm gonna farm the dungeons over, you know, 1,000 runs. I'll get, you know, 50 pieces that are going to be game changing for any champion that has them equipped. It's going to give them those 2 turns over the enemies, 1 turn in the dungeons. It's going to give them that enough accuracy plus speed plus HP to be surviving in the dungeons or the faction wars or the Doom Tower. So have that in mind. Use gems for energy, although buying blue shirts that you that can get you over the line for Lego books can also be great investment, so don't be afraid to do that. Yeah, use gems for energy. Don't use your gems for masteries unless you are at the very start of a free-to-play account or something like that. Yeah. Well, I could probably add another 10 items, but this is probably enough. Know that these are what worked for me. Your account is different and your approach may be different. Yes, I agree. I only read through this post as also making my own points while looking at this one. Highly like this post by this guy. Let's see some of these comments before I close off the video. Only one I disagree with is saving a fusion over a guarantee. A guarantee is basically the same as a fusion, but requires a lot less effort. I would disagree with this guy. It's a guarantee might be there, but again, it might not be so much worthwhile. And especially if you have so many shards available, that can be huge for the next fusion in terms of making it way easier, getting more fragments that you want, than getting a guaranteed champion that unless it's like an insane champion like how Kimi was. She used to be a guaranteed through ancients, I believe. She was just a huge champion to provide through guaranteed. So that is that. The PC part is pretty big deal. Yes, PC part is big deal. Confirmed. Grinding on mobile is hard. Another 3 years plus player here. Can't say I've been totally free to play. This is all good feedback. If I wanted to nitpick, I'd say there are 2 points where my opinion differs. I hate the concept of CVC. Yep. Okay. Great write-up. My favorite point is 16. Bro, rate is about rating. It's all great advice. In regards to saving bucks for CVC, someone on the subset before that, it's not what you do in raid, it's when you do it, and that's a key example. Yeah, it's Wade Shadow Legends for the most part. You have to ascend artifacts to level 6 is 10 energy. You need to run it 10 times. So at the end, you'll finish all your daily quests and get 130 energy. Not like I do them still. Yeah. I gave my comments on most of this guy's points, but I would love to see your guys' comments in terms of where your priority should be within raid, where you should be focusing more than anything else. I would love to see it down below in the comments, guys. As always, play raid as you want. Don't look at videos and see, oh, I have to play the game like this. Then the game becomes a chore and you won't be enjoying it. Play the game as you want. The only reason that you should be efficient is if you don't want to be using up your money. You don't see this game as entertainment, which is entertainment. But, you know, don't go, I would say, have more self-control than anything else. Don't go overboard with spending because you will regret it. Just have a look at what other players are doing as a way to just guide you through to the right direction. And then after that, play as you enjoy it. Make your teams as you enjoy it. Level up your champions as you enjoy it. But understand that if you're not a big spender, you'll never be at the top of the arenas, the plat arenas, which is nice to understand early. The earlier you understand that, the slower you're gonna go with spending and just straight up enjoying the game for what it is. So team building, beating content that is released, beating anything that you want with a specific comp, beating those challenges, see them as puzzles. That's how I see the game. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.